and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter.
Nope. There we go. Woo!
Well, nope. Whoop, there it is.
Yeah. Hey, we're live. We're live, y'all.
Oh my god, we figured it out.
We're live.
Oh yeah, who's hosting?
I'm hosting.
Okay, you go for it.
Sorry, I just made the decision.
Okay, that's fine.
Because, anyways, it's all good. So, hello and welcome to an all-new episode of Press YYZ. We're the only Canadian gaming podcast that you can catch live on Twitch every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as well as on podcast services and YouTube every Thursday. My name's Nathan McInerney. How are you guys doing today? Tonight, I'm joined by AJ. AJ, how are you doing?
Oh man, we're just barely holding on here, but we're doing great.
Yes, I don't know if you guys noticed, Cozy looks different tonight. He's less furry. Yep, much less furry. Nope, Cozy is off tonight, which is why we're a technical mess. I'm trying my best, so please bear with us. And Cozy, don't be too mad. I'm trying. But let me introduce you, Kevin. Kevin from Project XTalk. Kevin, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, and just for the record, I think you're doing a fantastic job covering for Cozy.
Maybe we'll keep you.
Keep me around, you know?
Yeah. Why don't you tell everybody a bit about like what you do, Project X Talk? Introduce yourself to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you, first of all, for having me, letting me come on the show, listening to you guys. You know, we connected through Matt and Court, Nate, so super awesome to be here. But Project X Talk is a YouTube channel that I have with a group of other people that I met through the Kinda Funny community. So we started a YouTube channel where we make content focused on the Xbox ecosystem. We have daily videos that go up about games, rumors, news, just random stuff about Xbox. And then we have a weekly podcast that you can catch live every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time over at YouTube, Project X Talk. You'll find it. There we have guests come on. Tomorrow we're having Matt Zawinski from Burnout Brighter and the PlayStation Drive. So if you're hearing this Thursday and you want to come over later that night, come check us out. If not, audio podcasts every Friday morning. We're there, and we appreciate any support. You know, we're aiming for 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so we're on our way.
That's awesome. Well, awesome. Everybody check that out. It's good content, so please make sure you go there. What was the link for everybody again? youtube.com/Project X Talk?
/C/Project X Talk.
Okay.
I don't know why they made us do a C, but they did.
Because it's like the C is for like channel, I think, or creator or something. I don't know.
Okay. Well, go to. Yeah. I'm sure if you search just Project X Talk, Project X Talk on YouTube, you'll find it as well. Mm-hmm. So, all right. Well, let's get started here. Before we get started, sorry, I'm trying to navigate multiple windows here back to my script. Before we get started, as a reminder, as always, that we have that we here at Press YYZ stand against any discrimination of any kind, and while we appreciate however you choose to give back to our show, there's no better way than to support us by being excellent to each other. A few housekeeping notes. We don't have any. AJ, would you believe that I finished Lego Dimensions last week?
You what? I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
So I don't know if Kevin's familiar, but for the past year and a bit, I've been streaming on our Press YYZ channel every Thursday. Mm-hmm. And we finally finished up Lego Dimensions last week. And now because
when did you start that?
January.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, it's a long game. We're going to talk about it a little bit now that I finished. I think it's a good time to address it now that I'm done it. So we'll have it in what we've been playing. But yeah, it's done. So if you want to catch my streaming now on Thursdays, check out my personal channel, _NMAC, where now I'll be up to at least 4 nights a week. Last week I threw a surprise Friday night stream in, and so that could still happen every once in a while. But yeah, we got no more housekeeping for this week, so here's what it is. That being said, let's start talking about what's new. And I'm going to start... Actually, you know what? I was going to start with Kevin, but then AJ doesn't have much on here, and I don't want to do 2 in a row. So I'm just going to talk about Lego Dimensions quickly, seeing how I already brought it up.
Go for it.
Lego Dimensions is the best Toys to Life game.
And you've played Disney Infinity, and you've played
Skylanders.
with Skylanders, and you've played with Amiibo.
Yes.
And
So
you can definitively say this.
okay, I can't say it for Skylanders, but
I
I
don't know
have.
what this game is.
I have played Disney Infinity, and I have played with Amiibos. So if you're not familiar, Lego Dimensions is a special game where you have a portal, and you have these Lego figures that you put on them in vehicles. And it's like a Lego game, like just like you'd expect out of any Lego game, except you buy these Lego sets and they pop into the game with the NFC portal.
I did not know this was a thing.
It's super cool. You can customize, like, so the original pack comes with a Batmobile. Here's the Batmobile right here. And you can convert it. They come apart and convert into 3 different modes that you can have in the game. And the portal has 3 different spots on it that you can actually, like, is used for puzzle solving. So you have to use the portal while you play.
Okay.
So it keeps you actively engaged. But what's super cool about it is the content that they have. So the initial starter pack comes with, and this is the 3 main heroes for the game: Wild Style from the Lego movie, Batman, and Gandalf from Lord of the Rings. Those are your initial 3 characters. You travel to the worlds of The Simpsons. Obviously, all the worlds from that we've just talked about from those prior characters.
So,
Back to the Future is a mainline world that you can go to. Ghostbusters, Scooby-Doo.
Is this actually just Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah,
but for
Warner Brothers.
Lego worlds.
Yeah,
Lego Kingdom Hearts.
My favorite is, and Cozy, I think, is slightly annoyed that I have this and he doesn't. The canonical sequel for Portal 2 is in Lego Dimensions.
What?
Wow.
There's a Portal 2 pack for Lego Dimensions that includes the shell figure and then a Sentry Bot and a companion cube. And this is the actual canonical sequel to Portal 2.
This game is wild. Like, I don't even know what I'm hearing right now. Like,
GLaDOS is a main character that you fight in the game because you are in the Portal 2 world. In fact, the ending of Lego Dimensions, I had completely forgotten, has a song that has a song sung by GLaDOS in the credits.
So how many characters did they make for? Because I know, like, Skylanders, there's tons. Or how many Legos are there total?
So
you'd have to buy.
There's lots and lots. So just beside me right here, I've got Homer Simpson.
Okay.
I've got the Wicked Witch of the West from the Wizard of Oz world. I've got a character from Lego Chima. I'm sure I've got some Lego Ninjago characters in here. Yeah, I definitely do. I've got some here's my Ghostbuster. Venkman.
And how much do each of these cost?
Well, so they did cost, I don't know, like $14 for a pack, which is actually reasonable when you consider that.
Okay.
When you're getting Lego, like it'll come with a figure and like 2 vehicles typically, or a figure in a vehicle. It depended, and there were some like bigger packs that had full, like some would give you full story missions. Like the Portal pack has a full story level set that you get with it as well when you buy it. So I think they were more closer to 30 for the big story packs. If you're just buying a character in a vehicle, they were like $15. The game hasn't been made in years. Like it's been discontinued for years. But I thought it'd be fun to go back to on stream and play it, which is what I was doing. And I've got way more characters upstairs. Here's Robin from the Lego Batman movie, voiced by Michael Cera. So, and I've got the Batgirl too, voiced by Rosario Dawson. So, it's a really fun game. It uses the portal in a very creative way, which is more than I can say for something like Amiibo. And the fact that there's like Lego, like here's my Back to the Future DeLorean. And it has 3 different versions you can build this into. You take it apart and rebuild it as part of the game. The instruction books actually come up in the game to build it. So
this game is, first of all, I probably don't have the patience to like rebuild. Like, I'm not a Lego guy, so you're asking me to rebuild to play the game. I'm probably out. But that game sounds dope for people that are into that kind of stuff.
yeah, the crossovers are super cool. Like, even there were points where I was in the Portal 2 level, and there's like this mystery thing where you find like this mystery portal, and you open it up during certain parts, and like things will fly in from other dimensions. And I was in the portal world, and usually it just helps you move on past like whatever point you're stuck on. And Homer Simpson swings in with a giant wrecking ball and wrecks the thing in front of me, and then swings back out of the portal in the portal level. So, anyways,
That's so interesting.
Lego Dimensions, super cool. I may come back and stream some of the like extra content, like extra level packs and everything I have, but I need to take a break from it. It's been too long that I've been playing.
What were you playing this on? I didn't even ask. What console is this on?
So you can get it for Xbox One, which will work on Xbox Series X, which is what I'm playing it on right now. It was available for PS3, PS4, PS5, Wii U. No, PS3, PS4, and Wii U as well. What's nice is the Wii U, PS3, and PS4 portal were all the same portal. So I actually had a Wii U copy and then tried to get the PlayStation disc to run it, and almost had success, but then the disc wouldn't run on my PS4 Pro for some reason. It just wouldn't work, and it's not available digitally. Because you have to have the portal for it to work. Without the portal and the characters, it just won't work. Mm-hmm. So my wife saw this Xbox version, and what's even weirder, the Xbox version, considering that they're very typically good with compatibility, there's one version for the Xbox One and there's one version for the Xbox 360, and they're both different for the portals. And they don't work with each other. But, so yeah. I'm pretty high on Lego Dimensions. I had a good time with it. It's probably... Go ahead.
No, did you end up getting all the achievements or not yet?
No, God, no. In fact, actually, the last 3 achievements from the last 3 levels didn't even pop. I don't know why.
Oh, I would hate that.
So, yeah, I have no idea why they didn't pop. I was like, at the end, and I was like, because for my Xbox rewards points or Microsoft rewards points, I have to get an achievement every day. I was like, oh, I'll save that for those like at the end of the day. And then I was like, wait, why doesn't it say I got one? And I looked and I'm like, none of those achievements popped. So, but also this game has achievements for every single like Lego pack that got sold. So if you wanted to 100% it, you need to buy every single pack and do it.
Oh boy.
So, not 100%ing this one. Lego Dimensions, super fun time. It's potentially the best crossover game I've ever played. And I even will put something up against this versus like Fortnite. I know people are going to say Fortnite's the ultimate crossover, but really you're just wearing skins for the most part in Fortnite.
Smash Brothers.
Yeah, okay. Smash Brothers is fine. I really enjoyed my time with it. And the fact that it has Back to the Future and Ghostbusters and Portal 2 in one game is just amazing to me. So check it out if you haven't had a chance to. It's fun. I will say trying to go back and buy the sets retroactively now is not an expensive feat. So, because they don't sell them anymore, so you're paying a pretty penny to try and find the pieces.
But you're sitting on a gold mine then.
Yeah,
essentially.
I've got a bunch of them here, and if I tried to sell them,
it's gonna put your kids through college
one day, maybe. Now that being said, Kevin, I know you've been playing a PlayStation 5 game, even though you have an Xbox show, and you've recently got a platinum from it. So why don't you tell me about SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated?
Yeah. So haven't played much on the old Xbox this week. I'm always playing Super Smash Brothers to some extent in the background. But the game I put most of my time into lately was the PS Plus title for April, which SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. I love 3D platformers. I've always loved 3D platformers, and especially ones where the trophy or achievement list is just collect everything. I'm there for it. I'm gonna go for it. And
Yeah.
SpongeBob's was a very easy but enjoyable time. You basically just had to do all the levels and then collect 80 socks for Patrick and 100 golden spatulas, which 100 golden spatulas, you have to do literally everything in the levels. So I don't know. The game, was it amazing? No. It was a fun time. It was a short experience. I think it wrapped up in about 8 hours for the platinum. So nothing too extensive if you are a platinum hunter and you want to go for that. It's an easy one. You can knock it out pretty quickly. I do say that the game feels dated. It is a remaster of I think I
PS2
want to say
game.
GameCube, yeah, PS2, yeah,
Yeah.
that era, and it shows. There is still significant like pop in all the time in the game. The loading screens aren't particularly quick, which might just be because it's like the PS4, so the PS4 version is not taking advantage of the PS5 SSD, which maybe on Xbox it would be because the SSD for backwards compatibility plays into effect there. But it's not a particularly good looking game. It was just one that I was like, I'm bored. I like 3D platformers. I'm gonna go for it. Yeah, I mean, I had fun enough. I would recommend it for people.
Okay. That's cool. It's one of those games where I definitely accepted it into my library, and I think I'll download it for my kids on their PS4 Pro upstairs, so that they can check it out. I might check it out. I never played this when it came out, so I don't have nostalgia. I'm an old man.
Yeah.
So when I was 20, SpongeBob game did not scream to me, believe it or not.
What?
Yeah.
Can't believe it.
So no, but I actually, when you said, because something struck a chord when you said that you like games that like are checklists and that you have to get everything, because that screams to me like when I get platinums and stuff is like Lego games are actually a perfect thing when you talk about it, like just in general, maybe not this one that I'm playing because of the cost to platinum it, but I love getting Lego platinums. They usually take a little bit of time, but it's just big collectathons. And I find it satisfying.
Yeah, so PlayStation 5 is actually my first PlayStation. So like I have 12 platinums now, and I did not care about platinums or achievement hunting the entirety of my 20 years of gaming until I got the PS5 and experienced trophies, and then I was like, something inside me clicked. I was like, I like this feeling. So now I'm like at 12 platinums. Some of them, easier than others. Like I got Pumpkin Jack, which is another 3D platformer, super easy, super fun game. I got Persona 5 Royals, 87-hour platinum, which
that's
people tell me is quick. People tell me that's a quick platinum for me. Like they put 150 into it, and I did an 87. But
I was like 90 hours. Did you play?
Okay.
Did you play vanilla Persona 5?
No, I didn't play. I just did Royal.
Okay, cool. I'm just curious because I had played vanilla before I'd gone in for the Royal, and I don't know.
Isn't that list harder?
Sorry?
Isn't that trophy list harder than the Royal one?
Oh, the vanilla one's insane. It requires a new game plus playthrough, and I think you have to fill out it's like immensely harder. So yeah, no, the Persona 5 Royal one you can do in one straight playthrough if you're smart about it.
Yeah, I did it. Yeah, I did it one playthrough, 87 hours, but it carried over to Xbox now. Like I had one game in my entire history of Xbox, and that was FIFA 14. So like 8 years ago, 100%. And last year I also I think I did 10, and I've done 2 this year, 100%. But like some of those were Psychonauts 2 and another 3D platforming collectathon. So
Psychonauts 2 was great.
That one was super easy. Yeah, Psychonauts 2 is amazing. Oh, one of my favorite games. Absolutely adore that game. I don't know, man. Something clicked inside me, and now I'm like, all right, what can I do to get that 100% or the platinum trophy?
So you would say you're an authority on Xbox, hosting an Xbox show. Is that fair to say?
I think I know quite a bit about Xbox. Yeah, more than more than most people, and I would, I mean, I would, I
Okay.
would go that far.
All right. So let's, because earlier today we were in part of a discussion talking about the term platinuming it and how Xbox doesn't really have a comparable term. And AJ and I have talked about this on the show before.
Yeah.
We need to come up with a name and then get it to catch on. What do you think we could use when you get all the achievements?
So I think we talked about this earlier, because right now I call it 100%ing it, which you made a great point. Yeah, first of all, too much, but also it doesn't actually mean you did everything in the game. You can get all the achievements without 100%ing the game. So I'm not. Yeah, go.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with the website giantbomb.com. Yeah. So years ago, I'm talking like 2009, 2010, they did a little bit of an experiment on their website, because their website originated not only as a video game, just a generic video game website, but also it has the accompanying wiki on it as well. And what they did with that wiki is, they created a bunch of like internal quests where you would, scope out the site or look. They give you like a essentially like your own on-site achievements or whatever. But another thing that they did is they hooked into the Xbox achievements and they hooked into PlayStation trophies. And because they were two different kinds of systems, you had the trophy system, which has a platinum at the end, and the achievement system, which doesn't. What they did is essentially like, think of it like a fighting game, right? Where if you've mastered a fighting game, or let's say like a Devil May Cry, you mastered the combat in that, a combat encounter, and it gives you a ranking on that. If you did everything you had to do in that run or whatever, you got an S rank, right? So they borrowed that sort of ranking system on PlayStation, with the different trophies. You got the bronze, silver, and gold that you need to get all of to get the platinum. But on Xbox, like, all the achievements are worth different values, and they can just be any value, really. Like, they could, in theory, a game could give you one achievement that is 1,000 gamer score, and they're done. But what they end up doing, what it ended up doing, is like made it in such a way that you don't have to differentiate between getting a trophy or getting all the achievements, because platform wars are stupid, and let people play where they want to play. So saying that you S ranked a game kind of makes sense, especially as it pertains to general gamer terminology and stuff. Because in fighting games where that originated, like, you S ranked it.
Yep. I mean, listen, I get what you're saying. I don't know if everyone would go for that. It's not the most, like, it's not the shiniest thing, right? Like, when I say I got the platinum, it's like, oh wow, like, it just sounds better. Like, we've been conditioned, I think, to think that
you've been brainwashed.
Like, yeah,
I get it.
So if we had to come up with something for the Xbox ecosystem, like right now we have achievements and rare achievements, which the rare achievements are just like, I don't know when it differentiates between it. You get like a little different jingle, but ultimately doesn't really change anything. I would like something equivalent to a platinum, maybe call it a legendary achievement, something, and it should be displayed on your profile just like a platinum. It really needs that equivalent for me.
Yeah, it's really interesting that we're having, like, that we even have this conversation at all, right? Because Xbox achievements came out first, right? And at the very start of it, it felt like PlayStation trophies were just knockoff achievements, right? They were just, you know, they were trying to copy them because they realized, oh shit, Xbox has a good idea. But then it just like, ultimately they're the same thing, but just the addition of that platinum trophy in a lot of people's minds just made that just that much better.
Yeah.
And you know what's worse is most games these days, the achievement list is exactly the same as the trophy list, including there's an achievement in some games now that says get all other achievements, but it's just counted as a regular achievement, even though that's technically the platinum trophy on places. So like you're getting it, but you're not getting the platinum on Xbox.
That's really interesting.
I say name it something like legendary achievement, like it ties to like legendary
Halo
on
difficulty.
the Halo. Yeah. Something like that. It would be on brand.
So, all right. Well, we've solved the problem.
I got the legendary. Yeah, that does ring a. Yeah. I beat it on legendary. I got the legendary. Yeah, that works. That's a good idea.
We solved it. Phil Spencer, I know you're watching tonight. You're live right now I can see it. So take this and run with it. Okay, Phil? All right. So let's jump now, and I'm going to try something, and this may or may not work with where our faces are. So we're going to find out.
YOLO.
But I need like 3 more monitors to make this setup work really easily. Believe it or not.
Needs a whole security system set up.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the dream. Just having like the 6 monitors. You got 3 on top, 3 in the middle, and then another 3 like down low. That's the dream. Okay, so I'm gonna try and play a trailer or play some gameplay footage, and do it like Cozy does, and we're gonna see how this works. I'm sorry if it doesn't work. I'm watching the stream. I'm gonna let you know how it's working. Keep in mind, we can't see what you're seeing on your screen because you
for a few seconds
got rid of that. Yeah. So
can you see it now?
Okay, we can see the gameplay. Our faces aren't in the bottom, but that's okay. They can probably still hear us, I think.
Okay.
Yes, they can still hear us.
Can they hear me?
So, let me double check. Yes.
Oh, they can. Okay, perfect. Okay, so last Friday, I decided to play a new game called Chinatown Detective Agency. Are you familiar with this game?
Heard of it.
It launched on Game Pass. Are you familiar with a game called Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego?
Yes, of course. Loved it growing up.
This is the modern adaptation of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. Essentially, Chinatown Detective Agency is a detective game where you have to solve puzzles and you're like solving crimes, but the game requires you to go to the internet to find the solutions. Like in Carmen Sandiego, you had your encyclopedia book that came with it, and you'd have to look up in there to find the answers. This has you doing research outside of the game to figure out like how to solve the puzzles.
Oh, I love that. I played a JRPG called Monarch, and some of the puzzles in there you had to do like name 7 legendary swords, and it like gave you a list, and you had to know which ones were katanas. So love that stuff.
Yeah, so it's super cool. It's got a really cool pixelized. It's very much like a point-and-click adventure meets like a Carmen Sandiego. What's really cool though, and I just started getting into the mechanics. I actually streamed on Friday as a surprise on twitch.tv/the_nmac. Please make sure to follow me and check me out. It helps me out. That you not only have to solve the crimes, you have to run your business. So you have to pay rent and you have to do everything at the same time. So there's a bit of a management simulator built into it too.
Ooh, okay.
So, and like, for instance, I had to fly to somewhere to, one of the early missions is you get some stamps and you're asked to return these stamps to their country of origin. And so I had to look at the stamps and try and like use the internet at that point to figure out what country they came from, because they're just showing me pictures of the stamps. And then from there, so I was looking at the stamps and got it. And then they're like, because the stamps had that little mark on the corner of them when they're used. They're like, please try and figure out which city it was sent from. So I'd have like 4 letters. And then I had to figure it out. But here's the thing. I made a mistake on one of the stamps. I thought it was Japan. It turned out it wasn't. It was China. And I should have gone to Singapore. So I wasted money on one of those flights that I didn't need to go to.
This game sounds so interesting. Okay, all right.
So,
It's like almost like an ARG, but like I don't know, because like it's like the game itself is not an ARG, but like you have to know real world answers in order to progress. But like an ARG, when you figure out the things that are happening in the real world, the ARG can then continue. So it's very reminiscent of that.
yeah, super cool cast. You plays this girl. I'm not going to say her name right. Mira Dharma. And she's got a really good style. It takes place in Singapore. Nope, not Singapore. It takes place in it says Chinatown, but Chinatown's the area that your office is in. Beijing? No, I don't know. I'm sorry. I should know that, and I don't. And my apologies. I feel like a terrible person talking about the game now.
You are.
I'm the worst. But yeah, it takes place in China. It's in China in the future. I think it's like 20 or 30 years in the future. So it has a bit of a cyberpunk feel to the entire thing about it as well. And very quickly after you finish the first 3 missions, it gets into a deeper, like more sinister storyline to it. And I got to the point. So there's 3 main people you can accept quests from, like missions essentially, but you can't work for all the clients because you just don't have enough resources to do that. So kind of once you lock in with one client, I think what's going to happen is you get 1/3 of the story. Ooh. And then you go through the other 2 after you finish. I don't think it's a huge run to get through them all. And then I think it fills out the pieces of the story as you play it, and you do all 3.
Yeah, that was my question. How do you know how long it would take to beat like a run of this game?
Off the top of my head, no. So I spent 2 hours to get to the title screen. So
that means it's a late title card?
Yeah, well, it wanted you to finish all 3 missions. So, and I got to the title screen right before I kind of like finished the first areas. So yeah, super interesting game. It's free on Xbox Game Pass right now, or included on Xbox Game Pass. So go check it out if it sounds interesting to you. Like I said, it's a pretty cool, unique game. I want to jump back into it at some point, but I did have some fun with it. So,
according to how long to beat, it's about 10 hours long.
Okay.
So not too bad.
What's the completion say?
Oh, I exited it out. I never look at the completion.
Okay. There we go. Okay, so we're back on the main screen. So that's what we've been playing this week. Woohoo! Cozy's probably annoyed because people can see OBS when I do that.
It's fine. He'll be fine. He'll survive.
So
OBS.
Okay, so now let's talk about some of the news this week. There's 3 news pieces I want to talk about. We're going to save Kingdom Hearts for last. So we are going to talk about Kingdom Hearts. The first thing I want to talk about, I'm going to try and be cozy again, is we've got some footage of a new game coming, which blew my mind. So I'm super excited to share it with you. Can you see it now, AJ?
Yes.
Yes.
Now I can.
Okay. If you guys are familiar with a little game called Monkey Island,
I've
Secret
heard
of Monkey Island. This is a canonical sequel to the second game.
Go on.
It's one of the first, like not the first point and click adventure games, but it's one of the most important. It's the funniest adventure game. That's Murray the Skull who got knocked into the water there. What's more important is that this is being brought to us by the creator of Monkey Island, Ron Gilbert.
Good.
So the person who did it is coming back. They announced it kind of on April Fool's Day. And then 2 days later, they're like, no, it's real.
No, just, haha, got you. Just kidding. It's actually real. That's the ultimate April Fool.
Yeah, so it's actually real. So yeah, I'm super jazzed about us getting a Monkey Island sequel. There's been 5 of them. You've got The Secret of Monkey Island, The Secret of Monkey Island 2, LeChuck's Revenge. Then you've got The Curse of Monkey Island, Escape from Monkey Island, then Tales of Monkey Island, which was a Telltale game. So Telltale got the license before Walking Dead, I believe.
I think I remember when that came out, and people were all kind of hyped about it. But the fact that like this is gonna be like OG, like everybody seems like over the moon about this thing. People who played it back then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I never played Monkey Island. Point and click adventures were never really my thing, but I've always heard good things about it through the grapevine.
Yeah, I've never played this one. I've heard of it. My buddy Sean Capri seems pretty excited, so I'm happy for him over there. But yeah, I'm not familiar with Monkey Island, and I mean it's cool that they got the original guy back. And I think what's awesome is it's coming from Devolver Digital, who I love Devolver. Like they do not miss. Their games are always fantastic.
I was going to say, actually, and that's words I've used. Devolver Digital doesn't miss. I said that earlier. You're right. They don't have bad games. I can't remember the last bad Devolver Digital game I played. Maybe not everyone's for me, but they don't make bad games. So no, I'm super excited about this. It's got the right people making it. It's got the original creators involved. And most people listening to this podcast probably won't care, but I'm super hyped and I just needed to talk about it.
Fair enough.
Okay, so we're going to come back to Final Fantasy not Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, because that's going to tie into the end of the show. Because we're going to play a little game. In the meantime, let's talk a bit about an interview that happened on the Xbox Expansion Pass, hosted by Luke Lorian. I think I'm saying that right?
Luke Lore.
Thank you, Luke Lore.
The Insipid Ghost.
The Insipid Ghost. I know I don't listen to his podcast frequently, but Mr. Badbit talks about him all the time on the Trophy Room. Yeah, so he had an interview with Lauren Lanning recently. Now, this is taken over in the headlines. We've seen it all over the place. PlayStation Plus devastating to Oddworld, the last Oddworld game that came out that was on PlayStation Plus. We've seen it all over the internet. I thought this is maybe a good time to talk about it and talk about how systems like PlayStation Plus and Xbox go in there. Now, I think that I haven't listened to the interview. I haven't had a chance to listen to the full interview yet. I know from seeing on Twitter, some of this was taken a little out of context from the interview. Have either of you guys had a chance to listen to it yet? Yeah,
I listened to it.
I read an article on it, and the word devastating came up, and I didn't feel like I understood what he meant by the word devastating in that article. And then I think I listened to Kind of Funny Games Daily today, and then I heard kind of a better explanation of it.
So I first of all, I know Luke. He's a buddy of mine.
Okay,
I've been on the Xbox Expansion Pass. Great show. But he does great interviews. And this was another one. But and I'm happy he's getting press for his work.
Yes.
It's awesome to see that, because you want these creators to get publicized. But I don't like that it's being portrayed as Oddworld suffered, and that PlayStation Plus really affected Oddworld Soulstorm in a negative way, because that is not what he said. When I listened to the interview, and it wasn't, I listened to it on Sunday night, and then these articles started coming out during the week, and I was like, okay, these are a little clickbaity. I don't understand, because I listened to it and I didn't get the impression that he was taking shots at PlayStation, because when I listened to it, what I heard was, we made this deal and then 4 million people downloaded the game, and our projections said 50 to 100,000. So he was saying it's devastating that we missed out on 4 million of sales, but he wasn't saying, it's devastating we agreed to PlayStation Plus. They got paid. They made a good amount of money, most likely, to be on the subscription service. But he was equating it to, we could have had this many more sales. The game would have blown up. I had no idea. So it was devastating to miss out
Well,
on those sales, right?
Yeah, and
you
I think it's sorry, AJ, go ahead. You go ahead. AJ.
No, I was just gonna say it can be complicated too, right? Because you can't necessarily say that those extra downloads are necessarily missed sales, right? Some of them
Agreed.
for sure. Because if you just look at Game Pass alone, there are so many games that I have played that I would not have put money into, just because I've played them because I just have access to them now, right?
100%.
Even at the early days of PlayStation Plus, one of the biggest successes with Rocket League, I might not have bought Rocket League just from watching a trailer and hearing people talk about it, but the fact that it was free on PlayStation Plus, I downloaded it, I got it, and then it really took off.
Well, and I will say, so to AJ's point, and I think the issue here is, and this is an issue, and I think when I was on Xbox Day with you, Kevin, we kind of discussed this because we're talking about Forza and the 20 million downloads, right? And my question at that point, or 20 million players, and my question at that point was, how many of those 20 million players played like 10 minutes and then were out?
Mm-hmm.
And then,
yeah,
I think probably this wouldn't have been blown out of proportion if he had said, like, if he hadn't talked about that 4 million number. If he had said, hey, we expected 50,000 to 100,000, we saw way more units generated, because the realistic truth is he probably would have only sold 5 to 10% of that, because Oddworld wasn't super well received critically. It's an older franchise, which is probably like a Monkey Island, and I don't expect Monkey Island to blow the roofs off in terms of sales. I think it's there for people who liked the franchise back when it was older.
Yeah. Another thing, Nathan, I don't know if you ever got to listen to the second episode where my friend Ben came on. I know you weren't there for it.
Nope.
It was just me, Cozy, and Ben. Anyway.
Wait, let's just fill Kevin in on who Ben is.
Yeah, just context. So a personal friend of mine, his name is Ben, and he is one of the creators of the game Airborne Kingdom. I don't know if you've heard of that.
No.
It's a city builder where you're building a city in the sky and you can maneuver it around a map, and you're trying to expand your city and keep it flying in the air as you're traveling the world. Super cool concept and everything. And just a little more context on Ben. He used to work at BioWare. He used to work at Visceral Games. He used to he kind of, after university, he worked his way around a lot of the EA side of things, and then went independent, made his own game, and then he teamed up with some ex-Visceral devs, and they created Airborne Kingdom. So what he said on the last time we had him on, which was only like a handful of episodes,
because he took an Epic Games deal, right? A deal
Correct.
with Epic Games, and that's why this is okay.
Originally, it was going to come out on Steam, right? And Epic approached them and basically said, it doesn't matter how much it costs for you to make, just make the game you want to make. The only caveat is it has to be exclusive to the Epic Game Store on PC. I don't know the duration of that deal or when it was set to expire, but just recently their publisher decided it was time to publish it on Steam as well, which is a good thing. But they got a lot of hate for that, for the exclusivity, because PC gamers are very territorial about Steam, and they think it was just a money grab. But in reality, what Ben was saying was, well, no, essentially they brought us in like a first party. They didn't buy our IP. They just funded us so that our small team could sustain our livelihood and we could finish this game. Right? And so by the sounds of it, it doesn't seem like maybe, I don't know, maybe it's those articles that were taking things out of context, but on the one hand, it almost seems like PlayStation could have made them a better deal if they had predicted their sales maybe would have been higher.
Sales forecast.
Right? But PlayStation also could have just said, "Hey, you're a veteran of this game industry. You're fantastic. You let us put it on PlayStation Plus, and we're just going to make sure that everybody on your team who's making it can eat for the next year or whatever whatever it takes for you to finish it." Right? And yeah, that.
No, I think you make great points, and I did pull up one of the articles. So I don't think the articles are taking it out of context, because if you read the articles, they
It's
give
the headlines.
Yes, the headlines are. And on the internet, 99% of people are just looking at the headline, because if I go on Reddit and click the thread where this is posted, everyone is in there. This is why subscription services are bad for the industry. This is why Game Pass PlayStation Plus is gonna fail. But then you go in and read it, and literally quote right here, it says, "It's kind of a double-edged sword. We, out of necessity to get the project done, we were hitting a number of late technical debt issues and talent issues. The game industry is emerging fast. Huge companies are paying developers fortunes, so it's harder to retain and harder to contract. Sony was like, hey, why don't we do a deal?" And he goes on to explain that they gave them the money to finish the project, and so they didn't have to go into massive debt. They could make the game. All they had to do was give it away for a month. The issue, another issue he brings up, was the game was originally meant to come out January 2021. So that would have been 2 months after the PS5 release. And in that, it would have been a very small handful of people that had PlayStation 5s. The game got delayed because of COVID until April. So by April, more people, millions more, had PlayStation 5s. So it kind of looked at, maybe in his eyes, that's where he's like, we lost out on sales, because if it came out in January, not as many people could have downloaded it, right? Because they wouldn't have had the PS5 to download it. I still think that's a little bit like he's thinking like everyone that downloaded it played it, which is definitely not the case. I download most PS Plus games every month, and I don't play any of them. So I don't think downloads is a good indicator of how many you would have sold.
Well, and I think that's what we need to start looking at these metrics differently. And that's what kind of more where I want to gear this conversation, when because we now have games like things like Game Pass. We have PlayStation Plus, which gets the free games. You have Epic's the game store giving away free games, although it's not usually new releases. But maybe we talk about, like, I don't think downloads is a good metric for a game.
Me either.
Me either. I would like to see and here's the problem. They want to spout downloads because it's the highest possible number they can give us. That's what and I think that's part of the problem. Like when we see Forza's reach 20 million players, or Halo Infinite's reach, I don't know, 12 million players. It could be more. I don't know. It's not a good metric of how many people actually played those games. It's just less nice to say this is people who've played more than 10 hours. Or more than 5 hours, because I think that's where you get a better understanding of what the actual interaction with that game is. So
I bet somewhere in, whether it be PlayStation or Xbox, they have the numbers for exactly how many people have popped that specific trophy or whatever.
Oh, they do. The percentages are on the trophy.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, right?
But that won't affect people who haven't opened the game.
Exactly. Right? So then you could contrast the downloads to whoever popped the first trophy, right? And then you could see what that turnover is. And then you've got the metric of, okay, so this many people have at least downloaded and opened the game up. And then you go to like the rarest achievement, who finished it? And that would give you probably a better understanding of a game's retention.
This is that's kind of what the Days Gone developer Jeff Ross did a
Yeah,
few weeks, and then people were
month or
giving him
so ago.
backlash.
Yeah,
Yeah, because he was over there like, oh, Days Gone sold 9 million or whatever. I forget the exact number, but he's like, I got that by looking at the trophies, even though Days Gone has been given away and it's still like it's on the PS Plus collection right now.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that doesn't mean you got 9 million in sales. Like I hate to break
True.
that to you.
Well, and how many of those games, like Days Gone, was one of those games that got heavily discounted too, right? Like
Yeah.
even if it was on PlayStation Plus, they were, I don't want to say giving it away, but there were definitely good sale prices on it for people who wanted to pick it up very quickly compared to other first-party Sony games. So I don't know, like, yeah. So I think you're right in actually that Jeff Ross interview, who just joined Crystal Dynamics.
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tomb Raider team.
Yeah, the Tomb Raider team. I'm actually surprised with everything going on and how open he was about talking that he would get on such a high profile developer. I was a little surprised about that. But good for him. No, congratulations. But yeah, no, 100%. I think it comes down to, it's hard to look at the trophy data because I think the trophy data is misleading. However, I think the trophy data in this case, the trophy data on the first month, because it was given away for free the first month on PlayStation Plus, would be pretty accurate. Because there's no sales, like, just to get an idea. But I think I have trouble where he thinks that he could have sold 4 million copies of that game, because I don't think he could have.
I don't think he could have either, especially because he's released it on other platforms and it hasn't blown up into some big commercial success.
No, and we've seen games on PlayStation Plus have that effect. Same with Game Pass, right? Like you see, like AJ brought up Rocket League, but then you talk about games like Fall Guys, Bug Snacks. Like Bug Snacks is about to come out again. It's going to be on Game Pass. That's been announced April 28th.
Bug Snacks would actually be an interesting one to see, like both multiverse timelines of like when it did come out on PlayStation Plus, and then the timeline where it didn't, because people were hype and interested in Bug Snacks before the game came out and before it was announced that it would be on PlayStation Plus. Like people were into Bug Snacks, and so like I bought it on Steam because I couldn't get a hold of a PS5.
No,
right
Epic
away,
Game Store,
right?
Wasn't it? Yeah, it was
on,
exclusive to Epic.
Yeah, Epic Game Store.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was exclusive to Epic on PC, so I bought it there. I bought it on PC. So what? Yeah, what would the like? Numbers are weird. Numbers are confusing.
I mean, I go back to the people, especially the internet. They like to take stories and just run with them and twist them into these, everything has to be negative. It's just hurting the developers. So in my mind, for everything I've heard, I've listened to Mike Rose from No More Robots. I've listened to the guys over at Drinkbox who just did the Nobody Saves the World deal for Game Pass. I've listened to these developers come out and say, we get approached by Xbox and they go, hey, we'll give you enough money that when your game comes out, you're immediately in the black. You're no debt. Everything you pay, everything that costs to make this game, we're going to pay, and probably more. And then there's also deals where every download, you're going to get some royalty from it, because we want people continually, subscribing to our service and downloading these games. So as long as the devs are getting supported in some way, whether that is you buying the game or playing it through a subscription service, I don't really see a difference to me. I think that's where people are getting hung up on.
Yep. No, I don't disagree with that at all. I think probably for the interview, I think it was probably just bad choice of how he presented the numbers, which is where that's kind of coming from.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure he was also expressing just general frustration. Oh man, I wish even we believed in this thing more than we did, right? Because if he did, then he, I'm not saying he would have inflated the numbers, because he clearly didn't artificially inflate them. He gave them a realistic number as to what he was looking at, but didn't account for all those people who necessarily just download it, or not even download, but just claim every free game that's available, like it's a routine. And he probably could have helped his team out a little better had he done so.
Okay. All right. So that's enough of that talk. Thank you, Kevin, for the insightful talk. I do appreciate that. Okay, so let's jump into the final big announcement because nobody thought that this was coming this week. And let me just switch this over.
The Halo Infinite Season 2. No.
Yeah. Lone Wolves.
Yeah, baby. I'm excited to get back into that.
So who expected that we get a Kingdom Hearts 4 announcement?
Not me. I thought the game was over.
Yeah.
So I never thought it was over, but I thought Square had learned their lesson.
What do you mean?
About dropping games too early, like trailers and announcements way too early. Because
maybe they did, and maybe this is going to come out in the next 2 years instead of the next 12.
I don't believe that, because we're still waiting on Final Fantasy 16, which was announced at the PS5 launch and slated to come out in 2021. And now it's 2022, and it probably won't be out till 2023, and they won't even tell us about it in 2022. Not to mention, they also have Final Fantasy Remake 2, or Final Fantasy 7 Remake, Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2.
Yeah.
To worry about as well. So seeing a Kingdom, like, this game's gonna, like, it's 2022 right now. Realistically, nobody's playing this till 2026.
Oh, easily in my opinion.
So I just, they keep announcing things too early. Why do they do this? And I'm not a Kingdom Hearts guy. I played 2. I played a bit of Birth by Sleep on the PSP. I tried to go back and play the remasters, and they don't feel great now because, once again, just like you talked about with Battle with Bikini Bottom, they feel like PS2 games. They don't feel like modern games.
It's not even the fact that they necessarily just announced it too early. They announced another side game,
a mobile game.
I forget what it's called.
Yeah, so they're
beside it.
There was Union Cross Dark Road, which is an expansion to the end of their mobile game.
Yeah.
But then there was another mobile game, and I can't remember the name of it, that they announced at like before this, and then they announced this game. Now this is on Unreal 4. I think
the trailer was, but
the trailer was. It's coming to 5.
They're going to be 5.
Yeah, they're moving it to 5.
So it will be on Unreal 5. I think Sora looks interesting. In fact, I almost wasn't sure that was Sora to begin with because of how human he looks.
Yeah, like look how small his feet are.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I hate it, first of all. I hate the way Sora looks. He's so creepy now.
He's approaching that Uncanny Valley a little bit.
His face is so smooth and he's in Smash, so I see his normal Kingdom Hearts renders, and then I look at this and I'm just like, what did they do to you?
Well, and how's he gonna look?
They massacred my boy,
Goofy and Donald. Now, this I don't understand, because they're teasing Goofy and Donald, but they're teasing Goofy and Donald with Hades. This has to be Hades because it's Blue Flame, and then it turns into Red Flame. From the Hercules series, and he's been in the game plenty of times.
True.
So why is that the big stinger that Hades is in the game? It's cool. Hades is a great character, but
I don't know enough about Kingdom Hearts to did he die at some point? Is this some big reveal that he's back? I don't know enough about Kingdom Hearts.
Or is it the reveal that they're Goofy and Donald are trying to, they're dead. Whatever they have to do, they need to consult with the bad guys in order to be able to be successful in their mission.
It'll be a fun episode of this show. For 3 people who know nothing about Kingdom Hearts to make up the Kingdom Hearts lore.
Explain Kingdom Hearts.
Explain Kingdom Hearts and just go completely off the rails.
I know there's something about 7 hearts.
The Princess Hearts. They were initially the Princess Hearts. I think they're called the Kingdom Hearts. That's where the name came from, I believe. And there's something called group 13 or something, and they all have like their versions, nobodies, or
Yes, no, but they're like fake versions of the
fake
other,
versions
the
of
actual
characters,
people.
but they take their
Yeah.
actual name and mix the letters up and put an X in it.
Yeah,
That's
you
why
get
there's a
Norded.
character named Roxas, because it's Sora with an X in it.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it.
If my name, my actual name of Alexander, if I got Norded, my name would be Denari Lexa.
What would be mine? Do mine.
Nathan. Nathan. Okay, I'm gonna spell this. Okay.
Yeah.
TNXHANA. Thanks, Hannah. I guess.
Oh.
I don't know how. I'm gonna try Kevin.
Like Nevix or something.
VNXKEI.
No.
Vinx K.
Vinx.
Something.
Oh my god.
I'm just gonna type in cozy. See what happens. Oz Kicks. That's a cool one.
That one makes
Oz
sense.
Kicks.
Yeah.
That's the
I like
best
that
one.
Yep.
Yeah. I just like, so apart from how Kingdom Hearts 4 looks, and it's creeping me out a little bit, I just like, why did we need another one so soon? Because my understanding was 3 was supposed to be some sort of like
definitive ending.
Yeah, conclusion. Yeah. And it seems like it's been, what, 3 years?
This thing is such a moneymaker for them. Like the fan base is so rabid, right? And they're just, they're never satiated, partially because they never put out the mainline games often enough. But in the middle of promising Kingdom Hearts 3, how many games, different like games like on the Game Boy Advance or on the PSP or whatever came out, iPad, yeah, like in between. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like, and Tim Geddes got into this on Kind of Funny Games Daily, I believe, this week about it, and some of the actual like secret endings of Kingdom Hearts 3 itself, and actually how it ties into Final Fantasy Versus 13.
Yeah, this trailer looks, I've heard people say that this trailer looks a lot like that Final Fantasy 13 Versus trailer from back in the day, and I do see some similarities, like when you go and compare them.
Well, and apparently at the end of Final Fantasy 13, or no, at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, there's a redone trailer of Final Fantasy Versus 13 with a game that Rex has been playing, with the characters from the game that Rex has been playing on the arcade game in this. And it's the same director. It's the same director. So this might actually be what Final Fantasy 13 was supposed to be before it was turned into Final Fantasy 15.
I mean, I'm glad someone out there will be happy.
Yes.
It's not going to be me. I mean, listen, I don't know Kingdom Hearts at this point. Like
it's so dense.
Yeah, it's so dense, and it's so hard. Like, as someone that loves JRPGs, even if I was to be like, okay, I'm gonna get into these, where do I start? Where do I go? How do I even catch up? Because games are locked away on things that like are ancient at this point.
Well, actually, you could theoretically catch up on everything because they're all been ported in that remaster collection.
Have they?
Yes. So every game's been formatted. Like, you can play every game on current systems, and if you can't play it, they've put the cutscenes and the story in.
Okay.
So like the DS games, I think, because it was dual screen, I don't think you can play those, but all the cutscenes and story are included.
I did not know that. That's good to know if I ever do decide to jump into Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, because 1.5 came with Kingdom Hearts 1 plus 2 spinoffs. 2.5 came with Kingdom Hearts 2 and 2 spinoffs, and then they did the collection of all of them. And then there was 2.8.
Jesus.
And then 3.
Apologies.
Yeah. It's
a
lot.
Train going on. Apologies if anyone heard the train in my background.
Oh, didn't hear anything.
All right, that's great. Good old Mike working. You guys watched the trailer, obviously.
Yep.
Did you see? Because people are speculating. Okay, we're gonna get Star Wars.
Yes.
People are thinking that we see the Endor, and people are thinking we're gonna get the Battle of New York from the Avengers.
That would be rad.
Yep.
That would be rad. As a huge Marvel fan, like
Yep.
if you get something to get me over to try Kingdom Hearts, it'd be putting that in there.
So I think that happens. I think they need to capitalize on Star Wars. We're going to talk about things that we want to see, but a lightsaber Keyblade makes so much sense in the world.
Isn't that just a Halo energy sword?
But cooler looking, probably, because it's a key.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Okay. But yeah, no, I think, yeah, Star Wars is a no-brainer. Marvel Universe is a no-brainer. And I think, I wouldn't go with Endor. I'd go with Hoth.
Okay.
They had the Frozen area already in like Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, they did.
Where they recreated the entirety of the Let It Go.
But at the same time, they've had tons of jungles that you've explored.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you telling me they ain't got no wood area?
Yeah, come on.
Tarzan's like one of the main levels in the first game.
Hoth, I think Hoth is cool because of what happens in the movie, but it's just a big snowy tundra. You know, living in Canada, it's not that interesting to me. I'd rather be on the beach.
I'll go to Hoth if I have to take the Keyblade and cut open one of the creatures and then put Sora inside him to maintain his body heat.
Oh, that might be what we need to clip this week and put on Twitter.
I'm down for that.
Oh man, you broke him.
I was like, I don't know if he'll expect me to go here, but I'm going here, you know?
I like it. I wasn't so at first I thought you were going to talk about taking the Keyblade and like cutting into the AT-ATs or something and like taking the drivers and piling it. But no, you went right into the Wampas. Is it the Wampas they cut open?
I couldn't remember their name. That might be it.
I think it's the Wampas. Or is that the really thing that captures him in the cave?
I think that's something else. I don't know.
You know, if you ask
Tauntaun.
me when I was
It's
a
a
teenager,
Tauntaun.
I could tell you.
Tauntaun.
Oh, a Tauntaun.
Tauntaun. Yeah. There we go. See, I know stuff about Star Wars.
Hey, you nailed it.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. I'm curious about number one. Do they realize this needs to be a fresh starting off point? And Kevin, to your point about this ending the trilogy, like ending the story, I'm wondering if they can dump all the backstory as best as possible and making this a starting point for people who want to come in, especially if they're going to have Marvel and Star Wars in it.
That'd be great. If you're telling me I don't need to play the 200 plus hours of Kingdom Hearts 1 through 3 and I can start fresh and it's got some dope areas, that sounds way better to me.
And maybe
I will say I've never been more tempted to boot those up and give them a real try. For once.
So watch out for Kingdom Hearts because that collection goes on sale pretty frequently and it is a ton of games. So and they were included on Game Pass at one point, but they're not anymore.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah. So okay, cool. So we've talked Kingdom Hearts. That's the news for the week that I thought we could catch up on. Let's talk the game of the week. And I'm not doing a rank 'em or anything like that because I was late getting home today and obviously we're late starting the show. So I have nothing prepared. But what I thought might be fun is for three people who don't really know much about Kingdom Hearts. I don't know if you guys can tell that, but we don't really know much about Kingdom Hearts. We're experts. To take any Disney property on Disney Plus and create some sort of Keyblade for it. So I'm going to start off first with an easy one that could happen. Turning Red. We just had a wonderful Disney movie. Have you seen this Disney movie or Pixar movie?
I haven't, but I've heard. I know the controversy.
Really
the controversy that people were
controversy.
Yeah.
There's controversy with it.
It's really good.
Well, because they mention menstrual cycles, right? Like the girl getting her period, like they allude to it.
Is that controversial?
Oh, how dare they? Yeah,
It is.
apparently.
It is for some folks that
it's icky.
think children shouldn't be learning about that.
You know what? I have 3 boys. We watched it with my 3 boys. Number one, they didn't bat an eye.
Yeah.
They didn't even question it.
Yep.
But if they did, it's probably a good jumping off point to talk about it. Because why would we make these type of things like controversial? Just saying.
It was dumb.
Yeah. But I thought we could have some sort of Canadian-esque sword with maple leaves on it and maple syrup.
Okay, so okay.
And the Daisy Mart logo.
The main part of the blade, the long part of the blade is the CN tower.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Okay. And I don't know what the you know how it has the key part, the ridges on the end of it or whatever. I don't know what that would be. That's up to you.
That's where you put the leaf. So you put the leaf,
Sure.
and then like the giant, like the panda, red panda, like somewhere fits into that as well. Maybe the shape of the key is the red panda head, and inside the maple leaf.
Maybe. And what would the
as an American, I
it.
was thinking the key part of it would be Tim Horton muffins. Just that's all I know about Canada.
Okay. Yeah, just Tim Hortons.
Actually, Tim
muffins.
Hortons isn't in this movie.
Yeah. So the Tim Hortons isn't itself, but I do believe there's like a box of Timbits or something on a table.
Really? Okay. I know like they referenced Daisy Mart, which is a very popular like convenience store. But I think the CN Tower is a good call because it's right next to the Sky Dome in this when it was still called the Sky Dome. Now it's the Rogers Center. Yeah. It's been the Rogers Center for quite a year.
Yeah.
Or for quite a few years now. But it was the Sky Dome back when this was set in 2002.
It's like early 2000s, I think.
Because I had to explain to my kids what burning a CD was because of this movie.
Wow.
Because they talked about burning a CD, and my kids literally thought they were lighting CDs on fire. And they had no context for what burning a CD meant.
Makes sense.
I'm going to Nathan. I'm gonna just so you can see it.
Yep.
I'm gonna pop it in the podcast chat. Just the picture from the movie of the box of Timbits on the table, and it's like the early 2000s box of Timbits, like what it looked like.
Oh, hey, you're right.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right. Okay.
Yep. So for context, Kevin, Timbits are just donut holes.
Yeah. I went to college in Plattsburgh, which is in New York, which is about 20 minutes from Montreal. So we had Canadian, a lot of crossover.
Yeah, you're going across all the time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, 100%. And you'll see there's Tim Hortons in the state. It's not like there isn't any. They're just not as prevalent.
There's a few.
Yeah.
There's a few like right across the border. But...
Yeah.
And they were great.
Okay, so that was my first pitch for Turning Red one. So AJ.
I don't know what it looks like.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if you're aware, but there is the TV show based on the lives of Pam and Tommy.
Yes.
What would that Keyblade look like?
I don't want to say because we'll get kicked off Twitch.
I don't know about that. You just be gentle.
Pamela Anderson and is that who you're talking about?
And Tommy Lee.
Yeah.
So
Disney Plus has like a documentary.
It's a bio series.
Yeah, it's a bio series, like a biopic. Yeah.
For the record, for Kevin, because you're in the States. Where are you in the States, Kevin? I don't even know.
I'm in New York.
Okay. We have a tier in Disney Plus called Star, which you guys don't have in the States.
No.
And Star is essentially Hulu Plus. Because we don't have Hulu Plus. So our Disney Plus has some extra content that is definitely not like you wouldn't expect in your Disney Plus.
Yeah, I was gonna say because that bio on Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee is on Hulu down here, so that makes sense.
So yeah, so just so you understand where we're coming from, we don't get Hulu Plus in Canada. It's something about licensing, whatever. So Disney decided to move a bunch of that content to our Star tier of Disney Plus, so that we can still have access to it. So, okay, so if we're gonna talk the Pam and Tommy sword or Keyblade, I mean, obviously there's a giant member, right? Right. It's got to be a giant member is like the blade part, right?
Yep.
I was thinking like drumsticks, but you're just going for it.
You're just going full ding dong.
Okay.
I mean,
well, to be fair, for the key parts, I was thinking giant something else.
Some melons.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. You're getting it. You're getting
Sorry,
it.
I'm trying not to get kicked off Twitch here. So,
I'm looking at some screenshots of the show, trying to figure out
maybe with some sort of videotape. Like some sort of videotape is incorporated in this as well. On the
that's what surrounds the handle, the hilt,
yes,
right, the hand guards, videotapes, VHS tapes.
Oh
my word!
Kevin's like, what did I get myself into?
Oh, this is you don't hear this on most gaming podcasts. I'm gonna tell you right now. That's wow.
All right,
that's not I'm not picking that one up. I'm not picking that Keyblade up. I'm gonna skip that one.
Okay, Kevin, your turn.
So I was thinking, I was like, all right, I could go with a child's movie, or I shouldn't say child, an animated film. They're for adults too. Or I could go with one of the Marvel properties.
Yep.
But I'm going to go with a show from my childhood. A little TV show called Boy Meets World.
Ooh. This is a good pick. This is my childhood too.
Yeah, love this
Corey
show.
Matthews.
Yes.
Topanga.
So we got a whole cast of characters to pick from to make this Keyblade. I think a squirrel needs to be involved at some point, because in the later seasons, Corey's brother really goes hard on, like, there's a few flash forward scenes where he's some homeless dude with like Lord of the Squirrels. So I want a squirrel incorporated in there, but I'm open to suggestions on everything else.
So Boy Meets World, I don't know why, but I feel like it has to have a paper airplane and a baseball, because that's what the original screen had when it loaded up.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was the original intro screen. You had like the baseball and the airplane on there. I think you need to incorporate Mr. Feeney into it somehow.
I was just gonna say. So the top at the key part that sticks out, just the head of Mr. Feeney.
just his
head. Not even just his head. Mr. Feeney's head right there.
It's gonna look like his head is on a pike.
Yep. Well, no, it'll be off to the side.
It'll be off to the side. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm pulling up the logo because it's a paper airplane on the logo with a baseball bat in the world in the letters. So maybe the blade is a lawn paper airplane.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm down with that. With Mr. Feeney's head attached to it.
With Mr. Feeney's head, you find a way to work the baseball and the world into it. Can we write Topanga somewhere on the plane?
Yeah, it's got to be like engraved into the airplane or something like that.
Maybe you can have Topanga plus Corey.
Yeah.
Cute.
So C.
You can put a bunch of messages like referencing Easter eggs, referencing the characters on the paper airplane itself.
Yeah. Who was that in the earlier seasons? Who was that nerd kid? He had a very distinct character name.
Yeah, he wasn't in the later seasons.
No, they brought him back for Girl Meets World.
Oh yeah, they did. I didn't.
Minkus.
Yep, Minkus. Rest in peace, Minkus.
Also, like, you need to have, what was the cool teacher, Mr. Turner?
Yep, Mr. Turner, who got in a motorcycle accident and then was never seen again.
We never needed to worry about him because he was in a motorcycle accident.
There's literally like one line in the next season where they just go, "Oh, hey, Mr. Turner." You don't see him. They just yell to him off screen, and that's the only recognition he gets for the rest of the show.
Yeah. Okay, so Boy Meets World. That's an interesting one. Not one I would have pulled, but that was a very good one, Kevin. So
yeah.
Okay. This. So I'm looking at my options here. And I'm trying to avoid the Marvel because I think the Marvel's too easy.
Yeah.
For
and we're
me,
probably going to get that anyway.
Yeah, you're probably going to get it. I think it's an Infinity Gauntlet version of it. If they do it with like the 5, maybe you have to earn the stones as it's
and put them in his blade, and yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, so like throughout the level, you're earning the different stones. But I'm going to go for a favorite show of mine, which once again is not on your Disney Plus in the States, but on our Star tier. A Scrubs sword. Scrubs, because I love Scrubs.
My favorite show ever.
Did we just become best friends?
Hell yes. Oh my God. I have watched Scrubs probably 18 times front to back.
Yep, same here. It's it's the best comedy ever made. Top, maybe not the last season, but everything else.
Well, we don't count that. That's not a real season.
It's not a real season.
All right, straight up needs an eagle on
Eagle? It. Yep, nope. You definitely need an eagle. I think it needs a dictionary of girls' names.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's a good one.
I thought a scalpel is like the blade part.
That makes sense. Fits in. I'm trying to think of some other ones. There's so many, like chocolate bear.
A penny.
A penny. Yes, for the janitor.
Yes, you need to have a penny.
It's a good one. Oh man. Dr. Kelso. After he retires, he just sits in the coffee shop so he can have
a muffin.
Have his coffee. A muffin.
Yep. Oh, and a perm.
Oh man, that show has so many good quotes. I literally quote it all the time. Me and my friends just basically just reiterate Scrubs. That's how we communicate with each other.
It's one of the best shows ever made. Even the last season isn't terrible.
No, I haven't really watched it. I would catch reruns on TV every once in a while, and it just never clicked for me. It's been one that I've been like curious about going back to and just trying to get into it, but I also didn't want to force it.
Yeah, so. It's one of those shows.
The time for me's got to be right.
It's one of those shows where like by the 4th episode, you know whether you're in or not on it. And the 4th episode is one of the like Scrubs does this really good job of being funny, but at the same time can hit some really emotional points with the storytelling. Like there's scenes which absolutely destroy me in that show.
Funeral scene.
Sorry. Oh yeah. No questions. 100%. I know exactly what you're saying. Also the one in season 5 with the donor.
Yes. With is that the one with the Fray playing?
Yes.
Yes.
How to Save a Life.
Yes. Oh, what a scene. What a scene. That's also on our Hulu, but I get it. It's on your Disney Plus. So I'm never one to turn down Scrubs.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Kevin and I are now best friends. So
yep. So I'm scrolling through our stars section here. And I saw something about I kept scrolling and then I lost it. So just give me one quick sec. On our stars, we also have we got a bunch of cool, interesting movies and stuff. Some really big hitting, blockbuster like stuff. I say there should be one for the old Matt Damon movie, The Martian.
Never seen it.
An interesting one.
Is that the one where he's stuck on Mars?
He's stuck on Mars.
Yeah, and he has to survive on Mars.
He's got to try and survive. I think a couple of potatoes down around protecting because the premise of the story is he survives on Mars after he runs out of food by being able to grow his own potatoes in this contained environment that he has manufactured as he's waiting for rescue to show up. But yeah, I think a couple of potatoes down at the bottom would be good. A rocket ship for the main bit, and maybe like a spacesuit for the key part. Yeah, maybe the helmet or something for the key part.
Yeah.
Would be interesting.
I've never seen the movie, so I'm going to take you at face value on that one because but it sounds
you
like
should watch it. It's pretty good. Okay. It's pretty good.
Cool. Kevin, do you got another choice there?
I do. I don't know if you guys have seen the animated TV show from my childhood, Kim Possible.
I'm aware of Kim Possible.
I have seen a few episodes. I think my girlfriend was into it.
Yeah, I feel like your girlfriend Rachel would have been really into it.
Oh,
yeah, as a redhead protagonist.
Yeah, she loves those.
So I know, she's a secret agent. So her catchphrase is "call me, beat me." If you want to reach me. So a cell phone needs to be included because that's pivotal to.
Does she have a cell phone?
Or she did have a cell phone.
I thought it was a pager.
I don't think it was a pager. It was like it was a spy thing. So maybe it was some advanced, we can call it a pager either way. Although it was the early 2000s, I feel like cell phones were a thing. So
okay, that's right. Yep.
And there needs to be a naked mole rat. He is very important to this show. He is always there. So I'm thinking naked mole rat is where Sora will hold. And then the ending key parts can be whatever the pager. We need something for the actual the blade, and that's where I'm struggling. So we could just do locks of her red hair.
That could work. Yeah, you build them in and you make it harder. Yeah.
Yeah, you could braid the red hair up around the shaft or something.
We could do it with red and green to signify the antagonist.
Yes, because there's a
green hair.
Evil version of her.
Yes.
That looks identical to her, but not her.
Mm-hmm.
And in green, yeah.
I'll take that one.
Okay.
I think that would work.
I got one more here that I feel like we have to bring up because it's too good not to. There should be a Free Guy level.
Movie.
A movie based about being in a video game where now it's in a video game.
It was super surprisingly good. I went and saw it it was going to be awful.
I was worried it was going to be another Pixels.
Yeah, people thought it was going to be terrible. And it actually, let's be honest, the initial trailers didn't do it a lot of good, but it turned out much better than anticipated. But I don't know what the Free Guy thing is, though. But I feel like... Blue shirt, yeah. Name tag.
Mm-hmm.
A name tag on it.
I feel like we have to incorporate the the big dumb macho version of Ryan Reynolds that he fights at the end somehow. Like the you know what I'm talking about? Like I forget his name in the movie. I can't remember it. It's not coming to me, but his best friend, the security guard.
Oh, yes.
So like a bank, something money. There could be something to signify working at a bank,
Maybe even put some guns on it.
Just have Sora start shooting people.
It can be like a gun blade, like Squall has in Final Fantasy VIII.
Yep.
Down with that. I'm down with that.
There's a whole ton of cameos in Free Guy, and it'd be fun to build some of those cameos into the key, but then it would just be a stealing from
it would
Disney properties.
It'd be a Marvel Keyblade at that point.
I just think it'd be interesting to have a video level where Free Guy's actually in a video game and can realize his sentience, and that he's in a video game.
Sora realizes he's a video game character when he's in the Free Guy world.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that would be
be exciting.
I don't want the writer of Kingdom Hearts to get any crazy ideas.
Okay. I'm not sure if you've heard of I believe it's called the Tommy Westphal universe theory?
No.
Oh yes, this is the one where everything's related to
everything is related to everything. So years ago, and it's actually, I think where Howie Mandel got his big break.
Saint
Elsewhere.
Saint Elsewhere. Thank you.
Saint Elsewhere, right? And so it was your typical like hospital drama with some light comedy in it, because Howie
Mr. Feeney was in it.
But yeah, so so apparently in the last episode of Saint Elsewhere, there's a child with autism that they're treating in this hospital. But at the end of the episode, it's revealed that everything that happened at Saint Elsewhere has actually taken place in the imagination of this autistic child, which means anybody who's ever had a cameo in Saint Elsewhere, or any product that has ever appeared as like product placement or something in Saint Elsewhere, if it appears in any other form of media, that means that all of that, anything that is related to that, was also created in the psyche of this autistic child. And you have to look up the Tommy Westphal universe, and you can see the branching path as it just expands into encompassing every possible piece of media that can ever be referenced.
Well, those doctors were on Scrubs. There was a point, one of the Scrubs episodes has 4 patients which are being treated, and they're older. It's 4 older men, and it's the 4 doctors from Saint Elsewhere.
Is it? Okay,
yeah.
I did not know that.
And one of them's Mr. Feeney. If you remember the episode that Mr. Feeney was on. Yeah, they were the doctors from Saint Elsewhere. It was a cheeky nod to it. So Scrubs is technically in that universe.
I'm just going to post in the podcast chat for you, Kevin, for your viewing pleasure, this image here on how a lot of it all relates to each other. It's nuts. It's nuts. It's great. I love this sort of shit.
I think Law and Order is
into it, and that's kind of
too.
what I feel like you were alluding to. It doesn't. This list doesn't tell like all the what specifically is the connection, but it tells you exactly how they could all be related,
and the Marvel universe is in it too.
Yep. Yeah. Firefly, I'm seeing.
Jesus, really CSI, is everything.
All the CSIs. The Flying Nun, which is an old movie or show or something.
For sure.
The Mary Tyler Moore Show. I'm looking at Mission Impossible. So like all of it just takes place in the psyche of this child. Yeah. It's nuts.
All right.
That feels kind of like what you described. So
Kevin, we're gonna give you one last one because I feel like this bit's run its course.
Yeah.
Yep.
Trying to think what would be another good one. I don't know. I mean, we could just go with a Marvel one, I guess.
Yeah,
sure.
But I'm gonna choose a crappy one. I'm gonna do Inhumans.
Why?
The Marvel because I want Inhumans in Kingdom Hearts. I don't want a good Marvel. I do want a good Marvel Barbie, but give me a crappy one too. Because I think I'm probably one of 5 people that actually watched the Inhumans TV show when it showed up. It was bad. It was really bad. Mm-hmm. So we'll have we got to have a little the dog, the teleporting dog, Lockjaw. Lockjaw. We need like a collar for what's
Black
his name?
Bolt.
The Black Bolt. Yeah,
Black Bolt. And then like you could almost use the hair from Medusa.
Yeah,
as the blade part, like similar to what we talked about with the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some mists, like make it I think it's the Terrigen mists, which give the Inhumans their power.
Yeah, it is.
So you could maybe make the blade like more misty. Maybe it's not like an actual physical blade.
Like a cool little effect, right?
Yeah. So that's covered in the Tarragon mists or something.
Yeah, I'm down with that. But I just want to see Sora go and like everyone have a miserable time while they're playing Kingdom Hearts, dealing with this garbage. Because I wasted hours of my life on it.
There's no way they do it. But I talked about the
No.
Infinity Blade keys. Like, you can't call it the Infinity Blade. I think there's a game that was called that. But the Infinity Gauntlet, like as a blade. But wouldn't it be like a cool twist at the end if Iron Man was helping you and Thanos got a hold of the Keyblade? And then Iron Man grabbed the Keyblade at the very end?
That would be...
It would be cool. A little nod to Endgame.
Yeah.
That would be rad.
So, and then you had an Iron Man Keyblade at the end.
Yeah.
So, okay, perfect. Well, let's wrap up here. I think this bit's run its course. Thank you guys for letting 3 non-Kingdom Hearts fans come up with Kingdom Hearts ideas. I think you guys have
Pam and
all...
Tommy was the best.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
I think you all appreciated it. I can tell you're definitely not angry at us because they're great ideas and we should use them all. Maybe not the Pam and Tommy.
Oh no, I think that one's going to make it onto the thumbnail.
Okay. No.
I'm emailing Square Enix right after this podcast.
Well, we just need to clip it and then like tag them in the clip. All we'll get is a cease and desist at that point. Please never talk about our properties ever again.
Just blocked on Twitter.
So let's wrap up the show. So thank you for tuning in to Press YYZ. If you enjoyed this broadcast, be sure to follow us on Twitch, subscribe to us on YouTube, and rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. You can also check us out on Twitter at Press YYZ. Slide into our Discord at invite.gg/PressYYZ to keep the conversation going. Before we leave, Kevin, one last chance. Plug yourself.
Yeah, again, thank you so much for having me on. I had a ton of fun. This was a lot of laughs, some jokes I did not expect, certainly, but
you're welcome.
Yeah, it was a great time. If you want to catch me and hear me talk about Xbox and other Xbox related items, yeah, come over to Project XTalk YouTube channel, subscribe. We're on the way to 1,000 subscribers. And if you want a podcast, Project XTalk, an Xbox podcast, is live every Thursday on that YouTube channel and drops Friday mornings on all audio podcast services.
Sweet. All right. Well, thank you, Kevin, so much for coming on the show. We do appreciate that. One final plea for me. I'm doing a stream on Friday night. Can I have as many of you guys come on as possible? Because I need 3 average viewers to get affiliate status. I'm at 2.9. So
and that's on your personal channel, which
on
is
my personal channel, _NMAC. I started a few weeks ago, and the fact that I'm this close to affiliate, and actually my last few streams have had really decent numbers, I'm pretty happy with. Good. So I had 10 people at one point, but 8 and 9 on average when I was playing Forza on Monday night, and last night I think I had 5 and 7 when I was playing WWE. So those are good numbers for somebody. So just tune in to some of my future podcasts so I can get that affiliate status. I appreciate you guys and love you. So thank you guys, and until next time, thank you for playing.